Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angryprepper. So today's episode, we're going to talk about Puerto Rico's power outage. Now, this seemingly started this morning, and Puerto Ricans went without power for a few hours. I know that some people, as of right now, are still without power, but at the height of this incident, if you will, 700,000 people went without power. Now, the interesting thing about this incident is that there was an explosion prior to power loss. Now, the explosion is, as of right now, suspicious for the obvious reasons. And the obvious reasons, actually, I'm going to get into in a little bit. So, another interesting thing was the day before, which would be yesterday, there was a cyber attack on the customers' accounts, meaning that customers couldn't access their account via the internet because it was under a cyber attack. That was yesterday. And then today, you have an explosion and a power outage. So again, at the height of this explosion or power outage, there were 700,000 people to 1 million people without power. As of right now, I think there's only 400,000 people without power, which, guys, is still a lot. So according to NPR News or media outlet, there was an explosion at one of the substations in Puerto Rico. With that, the power went out. Now, Puerto Rico is under a new power company called Luma Energy. This was taken over from the Puerto Rico Electric Authority. They were the people who ran the power at first. They were the people who were mismanaging, the money. They went through a crisis back in 2017 when Hurricane Maria ripped through Puerto Rico and destroyed it, and then destroyed the power grid. And so there were a lot of unsavory people, if you will, working for the Puerto Rico Electric Authority. Now, when Luma Energy came in, Luma Energy fired all those people, the people who were working for the Puerto Rico Electric Authority, fired all of them and brought their people in. Now, keep in mind, guys, I never heard of Luma Energy. This is fairly new to me, but they brought their people on board. They brought their people on board about a month ago. With that, they started running into a lot of problems. And some people in Puerto Rico are saying it's the same problems that they had under the Puerto Rico Electric Authority. So now, enter an explosion today. Like I said before, it's a suspicious event, if you will, or incident, and the FBI is now investigating. The San Juan office of the FBI is now investigating. Now, the cyber attack was a disruption on customer service or customers' accounts. It was known as a distributed denial of service attack. Again, something else I never heard of, but it was made so that people couldn't make payments or check their usage or whatever people with power accounts do, right? So with that, guys, they experienced that. That frustrates customers, and then today happens, and then they have an explosion. Now, the rumor is that a disgruntled employee or employees of the old power company did this. They might be responsible for the cyber attack, and they might be responsible for the explosion. That's why the FBI is stepping in. So, again, it's a rumor that it was an old employee. Now, here's the kick in the balls. Hurricane season starting. We all saw what Puerto Rico went through after Hurricane Maria. Hurricane season starting, and his power company's already fucking up. They already can't handle what's going on. Now, the explosion and the cyber attack are separate. You can't blame that on the company. But the way they've been handling it leading up to the explosion is the problem that the Puerto Ricans are complaining about, because they're like, it's the same fucking thing. It's as if, one dirty hand exchanged money to another dirty hand, and that was it. Right? It was like a hostile takeover, if you will. Sorry. And so one company just came in, fired everyone, and then they're doing the same shit that the old company did. So hurricane season starting, they better get their shit in order before hurricane actually hits. Now, the FBI, the San Juan office of the FBI, had said something interesting. If anybody has any information, please come forward. They have the state and federal law enforcement looking into this. So clearly they already know that someone's responsible. Now, the question is, how many people are responsible? Is it one or is it many? Only time will tell. Now, again, I'm reporting this just because again, guys, the cyber attacks have been out of control. For some reason, McDonald's had a data leak, right? NYC, one of the offices downtown, or one of the agencies, sorry, downtown, had a data breach. So, again, cyber attacks have stepped up big time this year. And then, again, with McDonald's, I'm like, why would you data breach McDonald's? What are you looking for, the secret sauce recipe? I'm like, what does McDonald's have that's that important that you really want to fucking know? So, we're seeing all these data breaches. We're seeing all these disruptions of services. Guys, it's only a matter of time until some shit happens here in America. Now, whether it's local or nationwide, I'm hoping for more local, because at least localized power outage you can deal with. But if you get a nationwide power outage, or even just half the country, it's going to be a big to-do, right? Locally you can deal with, usually they get it back on fairly quick enough. But if it's something where half the United States or the entire United States is involved, then that becomes a bigger problem. So, what does this mean, guys? This means be prepared. So hopefully the people in Puerto Rico, after learning what they learned from Hurricane Maria, hopefully they have their generators and they're going through life as somewhat normal during this blackout. Because, guys, the power's going to get back on. They're not going to go a long time without it. They're going to get it handled. They're going to put the fires out. They're going to get everything fixed, and then they're going to get their power back. But there should be a lesson to the rest of us that something is coming. There's just way too much shit going on right now, guys, for nothing to not happen, if that makes sense. There's just a lot of shit, and then there's the shit in the air, that bad feeling you get. It's the same feeling I got leading up to 9/11. I remember the days leading up to it, there was just weird, eerie feeling in the air, and it was fucking bad. And on that day, that night rather, or early that morning when I was working in an ambulance here in Harlem, it was just a weird feel in the air, and then that shit happened. It's just, you know, maybe I'm being a little paranoid, maybe not, who knows. But nonetheless, let's just all be ready. Because a power outage or some fucked up cyber attack is going to happen. Something that's going to be bigger than a meat plant and a colonial pipeline. So, guys, other than that, this is the Angryprepper. Thank you for watching. You can like, subscribe to this channel. You can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Telegram. And as the Angry Truth channel, you can follow me on Instagram and Telegram. Other than that, guys, thank you for watching.